G'day everyone, I'm Durkel and welcome back to the 4th episode of the Space Engineers Let's Play series. We're back here at the starter base, trying out a different view. This time when I start off the episode, it's more like I'm looking at the camera. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now today we're going to be working a bit more on the mega base. We're going to probably get through the refinery section, the assembler section, some of the storage sections. We'll get everything done except for the command tower. So yeah, we're going to make some good progress. We made a lot of progress last episode, and yeah, we're going to continue that on in this episode. There's something else that I'm going to have to show you later on, something a bit on the left of the screen there. We'll come back to that. So I've made a lot of progress between episodes on something special over there. But yeah, coming over here, I've done a lot of resource trips between episodes as well. Collected a lot of ice, so we've been storing up a lot of hydrogen, or been converting a lot of ice into oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen tanks currently... Control panel, hydrogen tanks are about 22% filled. They're going down slowly as the hydrogen engines use some power to maintain the batteries, but the batteries are all full. The hydrogen engines aren't really using anything at the moment. They're only outputting 10 kilowatts or whatever compared to the 5 megawatts is their maximum outputs. They're only using a tiny percentage of their actual capacity because nothing's using energy on the system at the moment. So yeah, I've been using the drilling ship to collect a lot of ice. But I've also been mining quite a bit of iron and stone. We've used a lot of resources between episodes. I'm going to have to use a lot more as well. A lot of steel plates, that sort of thing, to build the refineries. So I might have to get some more resources as well throughout this episode. But at the moment, we're going to jump straight into a time lapse of building up over here the refinery section here. We have the storage containers to store the ores as they come in, and then moving across to the left. We're going to have it get passed through all the refineries. I don't know how many I'm going to do, so I'll decide that when I'm planning it out. Then it's going to output from the refineries all the ingots into an ingot storage, which will be somewhere over here, which we'll get to later in the episode. So yep, the music should be rolling now, so let's get into that time lapse. We go. The refinery section is complete. So we've got 6 containers to store the ores, and then what's that? 3, 6, 9, 18 refineries, all with 4 of the speed modules on the side. Yeah, speed modules to make them refine even faster. To then process all those ores. I have to do the output side now. But yeah, I just wanted to bring you back and show you this. We've completed now. It took a bit longer than I was expecting. We kept running out of steel and computers, so I had to keep going back to the base with the welding ship to fill up. So that's probably why there might have been a few jump cuts there in the time lapse. But yeah, so we'll get the next section done, and then we'll proceed on further with the mega base. And there we go. The conveyor system at the end of the refinery section is now done. Sending all of the refined ores, which are turned into ingots, down to the ground. Now they're going to be sent along to the storage units for the ingots. So I've changed colors now to a grey to indicate that it's now a refined ore. It's now an ingot, like an iron ingot or a silicon or a nickel, that sort of thing. Now come over here to where I'm going to have the storage unit. I'm actually going to have quite a complicated system here. So I want to have a large cargo container around in kind of like a U-shape, and each one is unique for that type of ingot. So I'll have one for iron ingots, one for silicon, one for nickel, one for platinum, one for gold, that sort of thing, which means I'm going to have a large pipe network underground which distributes them all using conveyor sorters, so that only iron gets put up into one, that sort of thing, into one of the cargo containers, that sort of thing. So I'm going to have to get quite a big hole, I think. So I might actually bring over the big driller in order to do that, to help us out, and then I'll bring the small auto miner as well over to mine to there, and then to also mine to the outlets to the assemblers on the other side. So yeah, I'll bring that over, and then I'll hopefully be able to explain a bit better what I'm going to be doing with this section here. So I've just brought a line over from the center of the launch pad, and I've lined that up so it's in the center of the refining section as well. So that's the point here. So I want this here to be the center point of the storage for these ingots, and that way it's going to line up with the launch pad. It's also going to line up with the command center, which is going to be going between them. And yeah, so I've done that. Now I've brought the large drilling ship over now to drill a bit of a hole in the center here, because we're going to cover it over with light armor blocks anyway. So that way we'll have a hole which we can drop the small auto miner into, and then start drilling out a bit more room to do all the pipe work and that sort of thing. Just bringing the small auto miner in now to the hole, which I've dug out. We may have to go a bit deeper with it because I don't want to risk breaking the surface. But yeah, we're going to come in here and we'll do this first line back to the refinery section first, and then we'll dig out the rest of it, I think, as we go. So just mining out a tunnel like we did in the last episode using the small auto miner. Just controlling the camera here to make sure that we're level. I've got override on those back 2 thrusters to make it go forward automatically, so I can fly around and do other things as we go. We've just made a start. It's got a small tunnel going at the moment. Trying to go in a straight line back towards the refineries. It looks like it's going off to the right a bit, so I'll have to line that up. Then we can have the conveyors go straight down to the ground, come across, and then we're going to have it come out and go around in a U-shape for this ingot storage. And yeah, that's how it's going to get distributed among the things. So yeah, this is offline, so we'll have to off the line it's meant to be going. I'll deactivate the override, bring it back a bit. Let's turn to the left, keep it going. I might set up a GPS marker as well in the location we want to head to. That way we can do a straight line, so I'll do that as well. So I can just go over here. It's right on this point here. Inventory, we've got GPS. We can view from current position. Call it Dircal1. Line back here. Should be able to take control. We can see that marker. I guess it's pointing up to the screen. There we are, Dircal1, 49 meters away. Obviously it's at the surface and we're under the ground, but as long as we keep that in the center of the screen, it should be fine. just been setting up the layout for how I'm going to have the cargo containers arranged. I've decided that I'm probably going to try and fit 2 ingot types into each cargo container. I might have a single one for iron and a single one for gravel, and the rest might be paired up, so I'm going to have silicon and nickel together, gold and silver together, that sort of thing. So I think this will be plenty of storage. I might end up having one extra large cargo container maybe under the ground here. It's like a backup for gravel, because you end up having so much gravel that you don't know what to do with it. I've been digging out the rest of the hole under here. I've still got a bit more to go, so we need to link up to the underside. There's the output underneath the cargo container. Need to be able to link up to the underside on all of them. There's the other one. So the 2 on this side here, I've got to drill to those ones there. I'm just doing that manually because it's a bit of a smaller space. So just drilling manually with this, the hand drillers works out quite well. Yeah, so I'm going to finish that off, and then I'll come back and we'll try and work out how we're going to connect these all up with this conveyor system, because we need to have a conveyor sorter that sorts that type of ingot into the cargo container, but it also has to then let that resource back out into a different conveyor system to send it over this way to the assemblers. So it needs to be an inlet and an outlet system all together kind of thing. So I've got an idea for it, but we'll have to work it out whether we've got enough space and that sort of thing once I've drilled all the holes. So yeah, I'm going to do that now, and then we'll come back and do that. Alright, so I've drilled out the rest of this, so we should have enough access, enough room now to work with all the piping systems. This is where it's coming in from the refineries. This here is the system I think I'm going to go with. So we're going to have the sorter in. This is going to be draining the particular ingot that we want to store in this cargo container. So it'll come into this conveyor system and up into there. It's going to be stored in that cargo container. And then when the assemblers need it, it'll be able to come down here and come through this conveyor sorter here. This one won't be draining, so it's not going to force it out, but we'll be allowed to pass through it, and nothing will be allowed to come back up the other way. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build that for all the cargo containers around here. Connect them all up to this conveyor system here for the inlet. Then we'll have a separate one in black for the outlet, which goes off to the assemblers. Alright, all the pipe networks are done. It looks like a bit of a mess at the moment, but I'm pretty sure it's all right now. I just need to weld it all in. So with the inlet as the bottom line, or the input line, and the top line here is the black one, which is the output, which will then continue along here, and comes out the back through there, and that'll head off towards the assemblers. So yeah, they're all linked up. Now I just need to build them all. Unfortunately, I can't get the welding ship down here because it's too tight, so I'm going to have to do lots and lots of manual trips because I can't carry too many of the components. So yeah, I'll come back to you once that's all done. Alright, we ran out of iron, so I need to come get some more. Alright, there we go. The ingot storage is pretty much done now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cargo chests, large cargo containers. So I've got an LCD screens at the top above them that show what's being sorted into it. This is the iron ingots, silicon wafers. This one is going to have nickel and platinum. This will have cobalt and magnesium. This will have silver and gold. And both of these are going to have gravel because you end up having heaps and heaps of gravel, which you can't really use for anything. So all the sorting systems are calibrated underneath now. I can take you down there and have a look if you want. Wrong one. There we go. All the systems are done. I put some extra light armor blocks below, just because you could see through between the cargo containers. So now you can't see it that way. All these sorting systems are done. Because these are both doing gravel, I only needed one sorting system. And if you go into these, call it gravel in. It's draining all, so it's going to try and bring as much as it any gravel that it can. It's going to force through this sorter. It's got a whitelist, so it only allows, and then gravel here. And then same with the The black one here, it's whitelisted to gravel only, but it's not draining. So it can pass through, but it's not going to be forced through as soon as it's in the system. So yeah, that's the white line coming in is the inlet input. The black lines here now the output, which now they're going to head off through here towards the assemblers, which is the next thing we're going to build. I'm going to check the time on the episode, because we might have to wrap it up here, but yeah, we'll see. And as promised at the start of this episode, I'm going to show you what I've been working on between episodes. So here we are at the center, in the center of the base, at the launch pad for the spaceship, and then looking up, this is what I've been building between episodes. It's a sort of backing rod, what do they call it? Backing arm for a spaceship. How we'd normally have the platform that sticks up behind where the astronauts get onto the spaceship, whatever. It fuels up the spaceship with everything, and then at the last moment it rotates backwards and the spaceship flies off into space. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but that's kind of what I'm going with. Obviously ours doesn't rotate at the base, but essentially it's going to wrap around the side, only the amount I've done here. It's going to slightly wrap around the spaceship in the center. It's got rotors, and sorry, not rotors, it's got hinges, pistons, and then connectors, which are all going to swing out, and they're going to lock in. I'll show you that in a moment. They're going to lock into the side of the spaceship, and that's how we're going to store it. We're going to refuel it with hydrogen, oxygen, and this is where the ores are going to be unloaded from. And we're going to have similar connectors for ingots to go onto and off of the spaceship, and same with the components to come onto and off of the spaceship. Whether they're from this backing arm here or they come from the main command center, I'm not sure yet. We'll decide later on. But yes, that's what I've been doing. This is the height it's going to be at, but the spaceship, I'm not sure if it's going to be slightly taller than that or not. See from down here, it is quite tall, but I'm thinking of having a very tall spaceship, cylindrical shaped. I'm kind of going for a SpaceX Starship-esque type of thing. It's going to be quite over the top, to be honest, but it'll look cool and it'll sit here nicely. And it'll be really cool to have these things fold out, connect into it, replenish the supplies, and then it can launch off again up into space. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But this is what's going with. On the back side here, I've just connected in the rotors and the piston, so the hinges and the pistons, all with the connectors that come down here under the ground. So that's where the hydrogen and oxygen come in from. This is where the ores come down from. They go across under the ground, and they go up towards the refinery section over there. And yeah, once again, same thing. We're going to have for the ingots and for the components. It'll somehow get connected, brought into here, and supplied to the spaceship as required. So I'm going to do all internals around here. I've only done the front face. I'm going to do the whole back face as well. You're going to have ways of getting into it, moving around if you need, but this will just be more of a maintenance side. And the main command center on this side here will be a similar sort of height, I'm thinking, but I'll have a lot more internal stuff in it, I think. But yeah, a lot of stuff that will go into the main command center over here. So yeah, just showing you how these pistons and hinges will turn and come out, extend out. So it's going to extend like this. We'll have to calibrate it once we've got the spaceship built. It's going to come out something like this, and just plug into the side somewhere, where there'll be a corresponding connector on the spaceship, and then they'll lock in. That's how the hydrogen, oxygen, and yeah, all the other resources are going to come in. So that'll be kind of cool. It'll look cool. And then obviously they'll all retract and go back into these little notches in this backing arm here, and then the spaceship will then go off up into space. So yeah, exciting times to come. We'll start on the spaceship probably in 2 episodes time. Next episode, I'm hoping to complete the assembler section and the storage section, and we'll start on the command center. And then the episode after that, we should hopefully finish the command center and make a start on this spaceship here to get us up into space. Start collecting all the resources up there from the asteroids. Get some large drilling ships up there, and then we'll start on a mega ship, mega spaceship up there in space. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. We might not have gotten as much done this episode as other episodes, but there's a lot of technicalities going in with this storage system over here. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, and hopefully I'll see you back at the next episode.